Have you ever wondered how Wall Street pros seem to navigate the chaotic ups and downs of the market with what feels like an almost unfair advantage? Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain on one of their most powerful secret tools. It's a statistical map that helps them read the market's hidden language in real time. All right, let's get into it. So it all kicks off with this massive problem. Imagine a huge fund wants to buy, 10 million shares of a stock. They can't just hit the buy button, right? An order that big would send the price to the moon, and they'd be working against themselves instantly. So how on earth do they solve this puzzle? Well, the answer is actually hidden in the very map we're about to explore.
Okay, first up, the institutional scorecard. To really get this, you have to see the market through their eyes. For these big institutions, what we're about to break down isn't just another indicator on a chart. No way. It's the official scorecard they are graded on every single day.
And that scorecard is called the volume-weighted average price, or VWAP for short. Now, this is not your typical average price. VWAP is way smarter. It gives more weight to the price levels where the most shares were actually bought and sold. So you can think of it as the real, dynamic, fair value for that day, and it completely resets every single morning.
So here's the really crucial part. If a fund's job is to buy stock, and they somehow manage to get an average price that's below the day's VWAP, they win. They've proven their skill. And if they're selling, they have to beat the VWAP by selling above it. It's that simple. Their performance, and you bet their bonus, really depends on it.
All right, on to our next section, building the probability map. Now let's see how traders take this simple scorecard and turn it from just a line on a chart into this incredibly powerful roadmap that reveals hidden zones of probability.
It all starts here, just the raw price chart. To the untrained eye, this just looks like a chaotic mess of peaks and valleys, right? This is the basic information that everybody has access to.
Okay, next we overlay that VWAP line. Think of it as the financial center of gravity for the entire day. It's this equilibrium point that the price is constantly dancing around, pulling away from it and then snapping right back towards it.
And this is where the map really comes to life. We add these bands which are based on standard deviation. Now, these aren't just some random lines. They're statistical guardrails. They measure exactly how far the price is strayed from that fair value center. Each band represents a totally different level of statistical probability.
This framework basically puts numbers to the price action. So, as you can see, a move to band 1, that's just normal everyday trading noise. But a move way out to band 3 or band 4, whoa, that represents a statistically significant event. The logic is pretty simple. The further the price gets from VWAP, the more stretched it is, and the higher the probability that it's going to snap back.
Okay, next section, the snapback versus the breakout. What's so cool is that this map leads to two completely opposite ways of trading, both coming from the exact same information. Let's dig into the snapback versus the breakout.
So the first and by far the most common strategy is what's called mean reversion. The idea is so simple. When the price gets stretched way out, far away from the VWAP, it's just like a rubber band. You're basically betting that the tension is going to become too great and the price will snap back toward the average.
And get this, the stats on this can be pretty staggering. In the right kind of market, which happens about 70% of the time, this snapback strategy can have a win rate of 80 to 85%. It's a game that's all about hitting frequent, smaller, high-probability wins.
And this slide just lays out the two opposing philosophies perfectly. On one side, you've got the mean reversion player. They love choppy, sideways markets, and they're aiming for a super high win rate by taking small profits over and over. Then, on the other side, you have the trend follower. They're hunting for that rare breakout, that low probability moment where the rubber band doesn't snap back, but instead kicks off a powerful new trend. They're okay with a low win rate because they're swinging for the fences, trying to catch those huge game-changing wins.
Moving on to the rules of the game. Now, this is really crucial. This is not a magic system. Using this map the right way is all about discipline over instinct. Because when a trade based on probability goes wrong, believe me, it can go very, very wrong. You see, professionals don't just blindly trade when a price hits one of these bands. No, they look for confirmation. They ask themselves key questions. First, is there a big spike in volume to back up the move? Second, do the visual price patterns, candlestick patterns, do they suggest the move is running out of gas? And third, do other mathematical tools or indicators agree with the signal? It's all about stacking the evidence in their favor. And this is why discipline is just so critical. For all its high win rates, a mean reversion strategy has this one huge vulnerability, a single catastrophic event, like some surprise overnight news. Just like the slide says, one bad gap down can instantly erase months of those small, careful wins, just gone. So let's talk about our final section here, when the map fails. Look, to use any tool properly, you have to be brutally honest about its limitations. So let's be crystal clear about when this statistical map is actually useless.
And here are the key weaknesses. The entire system gets blown up by major overnight news, it's totally useless when volume is low, and it is strictly an intraday tool. That map completely resets every single morning, which makes it totally irrelevant for long-term investing.
So I think the most important takeaway is this. VWAP bands are not a crystal ball. They don't predict the future. What they are is a powerful probabilistic lens. They just let you see the statistical field of play, and maybe more importantly, they help you understand the game that the big institutions are pretty much forced to play every single day.
Which kind of leaves us with a fascinating question to chew on. When you get a peek behind the curtain of tools like this, does it change how you see the market? Is it maybe less about gut feelings and bold predictions, and a whole lot more about just playing a really disciplined game of statistics?